Hello, and welcome back to Fluento, everyday English for real life. I'm Anna, and today I'm sitting here with David. Hi, David.
Hi, Anna. Hi, everyone. It's really nice to be here today.
David, before we start, how are you feeling right now?
Honestly, a little nervous. I don't know why. Maybe because today's topic is one that makes me feel uncomfortable sometimes.
Oh, that is very interesting. And don't worry, I think many people listening right now feel the same way. Today, we are going to talk about something that every single person will face at some point in their life, in English and in their own language, too.
Yes, and that question is, tell me about yourself.
Yes, four simple words. But for many people, those four words feel like a very, very big mountain.
That's exactly how I feel. When someone says that to me, I suddenly forget everything. I forget my name, I forget what I do, I forget where I am. Everything disappears.
You are not alone, David, I promise you. And that is actually a beautiful place to start today's conversation, because the first thing I want to say to everyone listening is this. Feeling nervous when someone asks you about yourself is completely normal.
It is?
It is. You are not the problem. It is not because your English is bad. It is not because you are not interesting. It is because that question asks you to do something very unusual, to describe yourself in just a few sentences, often to someone you do not know very well.
That is a lot of pressure.
A lot of pressure. And pressure makes it harder to think. So before we talk about words and sentences, I want us to take a breath together. Just relax a little.
Okay. That helps. Thank you.
Good. So David, let me ask you something. When you imagine answering this question well, what does that look like to you? What do you want to feel in that moment?
I want to feel calm. I want to feel like I know what I'm saying, like I have a plan.
Yes, a plan. That is a wonderful word. Because having a small plan, not a big complicated plan, just a small, gentle one, that is exactly what makes the difference.
So you're going to give me a plan?
I am going to share a few ideas with you, and together we're going to find a way that feels natural for you. Because here is something important. There is no one perfect answer to this question. There is only your answer.
I like that. My answer.
Yes, your answer. So let's explore it together. Okay, let's start with something simple. When someone says, "Tell me about yourself," what is the very first thing that comes to your mind? Just honestly, don't think too hard.
My name? And maybe where I'm from?
Perfect. And actually, those two things are a wonderful beginning. Your name and where you come from. Those are the roots of your story. Very simple, very clear. And they invite the other person in.
They invite them in?
Yes, imagine your introduction is like opening a door. When you say your name and where you're from, you are opening that door a little, just a little, not throwing it wide open, just a gentle opening.
Oh, I like that idea. A gentle opening.
So, for example, you might say, "Hi, I'm David. I'm originally from Brazil, but I've been living in London for about 2 years now."
That's it? That's enough for the beginning?
That is more than enough for the beginning. It's honest, it's warm. It gives the other person something to hold on to. They might think, "Oh, Brazil, I'd love to ask about that." Or they might think, "2 years in London, how has that been for you?"
So a short opening actually creates more conversation?
Exactly. The shorter and clearer your opening, the more space you create for the other person to respond. And that is a very human thing. We all want to feel like there is space for us in a conversation.
That's really interesting. I never thought about it that way. Usually I think I need to say more to be interesting.
And that is one of the most common things I hear. People think more words equal more interesting, but actually, clarity is more interesting than length. A short, clear, warm sentence will always feel better than a long, confused, nervous one.
Okay, so I open with my name and where I'm from. And then what?
Then you share one or two things about what you do or what matters to you right now, just right now, in this moment of your life.
Not my whole life history?
Not your whole life history, just what is real and true for you today.
Okay, so maybe something like, right now I work as a graphic designer. I've been doing it for about 5 years and I really enjoy the creative part, finding ways to make something look beautiful but also useful.
David, that was really, really good.
Really?
Really? You told us what you do, how long you have been doing it, and, very importantly, why it matters to you. That last part, the why, is what makes people lean forward.
The why makes people lean forward. I want to remember that.
Write it down if you like, because it is one of the truest things I know about communication. When someone shares their why, not just what they do, but why they love it, why it matters, you feel something. You feel connected to them.
Yes, like when you said creative part and beautiful but useful, I could immediately picture what kind of person you are.
And that picture, that small, clear image, is exactly what a good introduction does. It does not tell everything, it just shows enough. Now, I want to try something with you. I want to talk about different situations where this question comes up, because tell me about yourself does not always mean the same thing.
Oh, that's true. I never thought about that.
It can mean many different things depending on where you are and who is asking. So let's walk through a few situations together, starting with a job interview.
Oh, that one feels the most scary.
I know, but let's look at it carefully. In a job interview, when someone says, "Tell me about yourself," they are not asking you to tell them about your childhood. They are not asking about your hobbies, not yet. They are asking, "Why are you here and why should we care?"
Okay, so it's more focused.
More focused. You are telling a short professional story. Something like, "I'm a graphic designer with 5 years of experience, mostly working with small businesses and startups. I love helping companies find a visual identity that feels true to who they are. That's actually what drew me to this role. I read about your work and I really connected with the way you approach branding."
Oh, wow. That felt very confident, but also warm, not cold and formal.
That is the goal. Professional doesn't have to be cold. Professional means clear and relevant. Warm means human. You can be both.
And notice you didn't talk about where you grew up or your university or any of that.
Right, because in an interview, they want to understand you in this role, in this moment. That is the lens. Everything you say should connect to why you are the right person for this job.
So you need to know a little about the job before you answer.
Absolutely. That is one of the best pieces of advice I can give for interviews specifically. Before you walk in, think about this. What is the most important thing about me that is relevant to this job? And put that in your opening.
Like preparing your best paragraph in advance.
Exactly like that. You prepare it, you practice it. Not so it sounds rehearsed, but so it feels natural. Because something strange happens when you practice words out loud. They start to feel like yours. They stop feeling scary.
That's so true. When I first moved to London, I practiced ordering coffee every morning in my head before I went to the cafe, and after a few days, it felt completely natural.
That is a perfect example. You didn't wait until you felt ready, you practiced until you became ready.
I love that difference. Practice until you become ready.
Okay, let's change the situation. Let's imagine you're not in a job interview. Let's imagine you're at a dinner party. You are sitting next to someone you don't know. The conversation is easy and relaxed. And they turn to you and say, "So, tell me a bit about yourself."
Ah, that feels different already. A dinner party is more free.
Much more free, and also much more personal. At a dinner party, people are not looking for your professional bio. They want to know you, the human, not the resume.
So what do I say in that context?
In that context, you have so much more room to be playful. You can share something that surprises them a little, something that makes them smile.
Like what?
Like something unexpected about how you spend your time, something that shows your personality. For example, I'm a graphic designer, but honestly, the thing I think about these days is bread. I've been trying to learn how to bake sourdough for the past 3 months, and it keeps going wrong.
That's funny and real.
And that realness, that small, honest, funny thing, is worth more at a dinner party than any impressive job title. Because what people remember is not the title, they remember how they felt in the conversation with you.
So at a dinner party, I can add something personal or funny.
Yes. You can add a small story, a small struggle, a small joy, something that shows you are a real person with a real life.
Okay, let me try. I'm David. I'm a graphic designer originally from Brazil. I've been in London for 2 years now, and I'm still getting used to the weather.
And already everyone in London is nodding. They understand. You've connected with them.
That felt easy. That felt like something I could actually say.
And that feeling, that ease, is what we are working toward. Not perfection, just ease. Just a feeling that you have something to say and you are allowed to say it. Let's try one more situation. This one is the most casual of all. Imagine you are at an exercise class, or waiting in a queue, or sitting next to someone on a long train journey, and somehow the conversation begins and they ask, in a very friendly, relaxed way, "So, what's your story?"
Oh, that's a very English way to ask.
Very English, yes. What's your story? It sounds big, but it means, tell me a little something about who you are.
And in that situation, I think even shorter is better.
Even shorter, even warmer, even more in the moment. In that kind of conversation, you might say just 1 or 2 sentences and then turn it back to them. Because in casual conversations, a good answer is one that keeps the conversation going, not one that ends it.
So maybe I'm David. I designed things, mostly for small companies. And yourself?
Beautiful, short, clear, and that last little question, and yourself, that turns the whole thing into a real conversation. You are not just talking, you are connecting.
I love that. Connecting, not just talking.
That is actually the heart of everything we are saying today. When you answer, "Tell me about yourself," the goal is never to impress. The goal is to connect. And connection happens when you are honest, warm, and human.
Honest, warm, and human. I keep wanting to write down the things you say.
Please do. Okay, David. I want to talk about something that I think is really important, but people don't discuss enough. What happens when you get nervous in the middle of answering?
Oh, this happens to me so much.
Tell me what it feels like for you.
It's like I start fine, I say my name, I say what I do, and then suddenly, I don't know, I lose the thread. I forget where I was going, and then I start to feel my face getting hot and I just want to stop.
Yes, that moment. That very specific and very uncomfortable moment. I want to talk about that moment because I think it is so misunderstood.
What do you mean misunderstood?
Most people think that moment means something went wrong, but it doesn't. It means something very normal happened. Your brain got a lot of information at once. The pressure to speak, the unknown person in front of you, the words you were trying to find, and it needed a second to catch up.
So it's not a failure?
It is not a failure. It is just a pause. And a pause is not bad. A pause is actually a very confident thing.
Really? It doesn't feel confident.
I know. But think about people you respect, people who seem calm and sure of themselves. They pause. They think before they speak. They don't rush to fill every second with words. When you pause, you are saying to the other person, "I want to say something real. I'm taking a moment to find it."
That is a very different way to think about it.
And in that moment, when you lose the thread, you have a few very simple options. You can say, "Sorry, let me think about that for a second." Or you can say, how do I put this? Or even just, "Let me start again." These are not signs of weakness, they are signs of honesty. And people trust honest speakers much more than smooth ones.
So I don't need to pretend the pause didn't happen?
Never pretend. Just acknowledge it, gently, and continue. Most people will not even notice it as a problem. They will notice it as something human.
I think maybe one of my problems is that I expect myself to be perfect. And when I'm not, I feel like I've failed completely.
That is such an important thing to say, and I think it is true for a lot of learners. We hold ourselves to a standard that we would never hold a friend to.
That's true. If a friend paused or said the wrong word, I wouldn't think less of them.
No, you would probably think they're just being themselves. And that is exactly how the person you are talking to sees you. They're not grading you, they are meeting you.
They are meeting me, not grading me.
Yes, and once you feel that, really feel it, not just understand it, the nervousness starts to soften. David, I want to ask you something now. We have been talking for a while, and I want to try a little practice with you. Just a very gentle one. No pressure, no grading.
Okay. I'm a little nervous, but okay.
Imagine I'm someone you've just met at a language exchange evening. We've been chatting for a couple of minutes, and it's going well. I say to you, "So, David, tell me a bit about yourself. What's your world like?"
Okay. I'm David. I'm from Sao Paulo in Brazil, but I've been living here in London for about 2 years. I work as a graphic designer. I help small businesses figure out how they want to look visually. I really love that part of my job, actually. Outside of work, I've been trying to learn how to cook more Brazilian food because I miss it. And I've been learning English more seriously these past few months, which is why I'm at an evening like this one.
David,
Was that okay?
that was more than okay. That was wonderful.
Really?
Really? Do you know what I noticed? I noticed that you never stopped. Even when you said at the beginning, you moved forward. You didn't apologize, you didn't restart, you just continued.
I didn't even notice I did that.
That is exactly the point. When you're focused on the content, on what you actually want to say, you stop monitoring yourself so much. And that is when speaking feels easier.
So thinking less about myself actually helps me talk about myself better.
Yes, that is one of those beautiful contradictions that are completely true.
I also noticed I said things that felt personal. The Brazilian food, missing home. And I didn't plan to say that, it just came out.
And that is the best kind of introduction, when something real comes out that you didn't plan. That is not a mistake, that is you. I want to talk a little about tone, because the how you say something can matter just as much as the what.
What do you mean by tone?
Tone is the feeling in your voice, the warmth, the energy, the speed. And here's something I really believe. You can say simple words in a warm, slow, confident way, and they will feel like poetry. You can say complicated, impressive words in a rushed, tight, nervous way, and they will feel like a report.
So a warm, slow voice makes you sound more confident?
It does. And it's not about pretending to feel something, it's about giving your voice a little more room. When we are nervous, we speak faster and faster. We shrink our voice because we want to take up less space. But space in speaking is actually a gift to yourself and to the listener.
Like giving yourself room to breathe.
Exactly like that. When I work with learners on this, I sometimes ask them to imagine they are telling a story to a child. Not because the listener is a child, but because when we tell stories to children, we naturally slow down. We use color and warmth in our voice. We pause for effect, and it becomes beautiful.
That's such a lovely image. Telling a story, not delivering a speech.
Yes. Tell me about yourself is an invitation to tell a story. Your story. A small one, but yours. We've talked about so much today, David, and I want to spend a few minutes just sitting with it all. Not rushing, not summarizing with a list, just reflecting.
I like that. A moment to let it settle.
When you came in today, you said you felt a little nervous about this topic. How do you feel now?
Different. Actually, genuinely different. I feel like the question doesn't own me anymore. Like I have something to say to it.
Something to say to it. I love that.
I think what helped me most was, it sounds simple, but realizing that the other person wants to hear from me. Not a performance, not perfect grammar, just me.
That is the whole thing, really. That is the one idea underneath everything we said today. The other person wants to hear from you. Not a version of you that has no flaws and never pauses. Just the real, present, warm you.
And if I forget a word?
You pause, and you find another one, or you describe it. It's like a word for when something is beautiful and useful at the same time. That is not a mistake. That is creative language.
I like that. Creative language.
And if your grammar isn't perfect,
I keep going.
yes, you keep going. Because the sentence that finishes, even imperfectly, is always better than the perfect sentence that stays inside your head, silent.
The sentence that finishes is better than the perfect one that stays silent. I'm definitely writing that down.
Good. Before we go, I want to walk through together the small, simple ideas we found today. Not as a list, just as a quiet reminder.
Yes, let's do that.
The question, tell me about yourself, does not need a perfect answer. It needs a real one. Something with your name, a little of what you do or what matters to you right now, and maybe one small personal thing that makes you you.
And we can think about who is asking and where we are. In an interview, we focus on what's relevant to the role. At a dinner party, we can be more playful and personal.
And wherever we are, we try to be warm. We try to leave a little room for the other person to step in.
We don't try to impress, we try to connect.
And if we get nervous, that's okay. We pause, we take a breath, we say something honest, like, let me think about that, and we continue.
Because the person in front of us is meeting us, not grading us.
And maybe most importantly of all, we practice. Not to become perfect, but to become comfortable. Comfortable with our own story. Comfortable with the sound of our own voice saying it.
That's all it takes, really. Just a little comfort.
A little comfort goes a long, long way. Now, we have one small thing we would love for you to do, and it is actually a wonderful way to practice everything we talked about today.
Yes, please, in the comments below this video, write a short introduction about yourself.
It doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just use what felt natural to you today. Your name, a little of what you do or what matters to you right now, and maybe one small personal thing that makes you you.
We will read every single one, and I promise there are no mistakes down there. Only brave learners practicing.
And if you found something in today's conversation that helped you, maybe one sentence, one small idea, share this video with someone you know who is also working on their English. Sometimes one person sharing is exactly what another person needs.
Thank you so much for spending this time with us today. It really means something.
It really does. Take care of yourselves, be gentle with yourselves, and remember, your story is worth telling.
See you next time.
See you next time, everyone. Bye for now.